So guys, I've placed a trade on pound dollar after we've seen this market structure shift on the 5-minute time frame after rejecting this previous month's low, which is also last week's low. We accumulated. This is the accumulation just before price moved lower. Took out liquidity off the low, essentially tapped this monthly time frame or previous month's low a couple of times, pushed up, caught all the buyers and pushed down, trapped all those sellers, and it's pushed up now with strong displacement, which is seen with these two fair value gaps that price has left. I've put my entry at a 618 pullback on this range with my stops just below this low. So yeah, let's see how that plays out. Yeah, like I said, high time frame wise, my reason for entry is because we have come into previous month's low, which is also previous week's low, with this strong bearish candle today due to the elections results earlier during the day, which tanked price. Since then, we've just been slowly displacing lower. We can see as we came into this low, it was pretty strong support level right on the 240. We formed this range. We've come down. We took out liquidity right as we approached that level. We failed to close below previous candles 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. I waited until it was enough confirmation for me to enter this trade, so we came down. For me, channel is a very good entry reason, especially a specific point of interest, and this is a major point of interest for me. Channel formed right, we came down, and yeah, essentially on the 15-minute we came down, held this previous month low once, pushed up, failed to push higher, came down, pushed low, essentially forming some kind of double bottom here, and we closed above this bearish in fair value gap, which turned into an inverse fair value gap, and essentially that 618 pullback or retracement comes into the start of this inverse fair value gap, which for me is a very good location for entry. So yeah, so let's see how this trade plays out, whether I'll be hit stops or target. We'll let the trade play out. Cool. And there we have it. I've exited that trade with essentially a 1-to-1, 30 pips bagged. Honestly, it could potentially go higher up. I'm not stressing about that right now. It's election day. I know we've had the election result. We are at a pretty good level as well. We could potentially aim for these highs. Cool, we can, but that's not something I'm aiming for right now. And honestly, I don't care. It's 1-to-1. I've not traded since last week, Tuesday or Wednesday, with NFP and whatnot. And I was busy throughout the weekend and election going on. Coming back into trading this week and waiting until Wednesday and executing a A+ setup in my book. I'm more than happy, and this played out perfectly within 15 minutes. So great trade, A+ setup. So let's go. One of my other main confluences going into this trade was the fact that we had EU SMT. So on the 15-minute it's clearer. I'll show you. On the pound dollar we made a lower low. On the euro dollar we failed to make a lower low. Especially during New York session, we came down, made a low during New York session, and took out the liquidity of that session with EU SMT at a key level, which was stronger confluence and provided me with more confidence going into the trade. It's also nice to see price come down and hold the POI, the previous month's low once, tried to push up, fail, come down, close below that on the 5-minute, and essentially provide some kind of a manipulation after this accumulation, which again another strong confluence, which gave me more confidence to hold that trade, and the trade played out perfectly. I could have held that trade for longer up to this high, right, which it does come up to eventually after all this drawdown, which would have been quite difficult to sit through after not trading for almost a week. And yeah, at least, or even New York Open would have been good, but it's fine. I'm happy with the 1-to-1 for now anyway. We'd also come into this daily time from order blocks 50%. Look how previously we came into the start of the order block right there. This was last Thursday, and then pushed up with some strong momentum, gapped up on Monday, pushed up, closed above that gap, gapped up, and then we closed below that. We were closing below that gap yesterday and came into that 50%. It was similar to the previous month's low point of interest on the 5-minute time frame or the 15-minute. We came down first, found some support, pushed up, tried to push up, failed, and then came down again and held the low again. So in this case, we held the start of the order block first and then for 50% after. It's another confluence to add to the series of confluence to give me more confidence with the trade. This was a very perfect entry, in fact too perfect, because of the fact that price literally came into the 618, didn't even push a pip below. I think it was about 0.9 pip, and then pushed up. Because of that, my trade on my FTMO account didn't get executed because it has more lots, and that means I didn't make a profit on this on my FTMO account. Other accounts got traded, however FTMO 1 didn't, because the lot size were a lot bigger, and should always consider some spreads and try to enter with at least a pip above the 618, just so that entries get triggered. Otherwise you'll miss out on a 1% trade or any trade, because had this just taken off completely right up there, and I missed out on 2-3R because of the fact that I didn't consider putting my entry slightly above 618. That would have been painful, but it's just something for future reference.